Hey, crypto family. So it's been a pretty crazy day in the market today. Everything's down double digits. The big story for today is going to be about Luna and the UST stablecoin. And how you can see today it dropped all the way down to 60 cents. It depegged, and then right now it is trying to recover near 87 cents. And then the Luna coin is actually down over 50% today, and it's trying to recover currently above $30. So I'm going to talk about exactly what happened, what's led to this, and this kind of whole market cascade of liquidations that we've had, and kind of everything that's built up to that. So first things first, let's go over some tweets here. Now, Hitaka is a popular guy on Twitter, and he has good insight into the market. Basically, he's been taking a lot of posts about, hey, what's been going on with UST, and just basically taking some polls. So one of the polls he took was how long before UST starts holding back around 95 cents again. And basically the consensus was less than 2 days. And basically he says he knows it's going to be soon, but he's wanted to see how many people think that it's over for UST, which tells you, eventually UST will come back to peg, which we can see, right now. Now, it may take a little bit while, may take a couple more days, but the fact that it's already rebounding is definitely positive, to say the least. Now, he did post another thing here that there's basically a rumor, and you can see here he said, think trust might be temporarily gone instead of irreversibly. We have the collective memory of a goldfish in this space. So basically referring to people, jumping back to UST after it is approved. So there's a quote here by Larry Cermak. It says, there's a rumor spreading about Jump, Alameda, etc., providing another $2 billion to bail out UST. Whether this rumor is true or not, it makes perfect sense for them to spread. The biggest question here is even if they can get it to $1 by some miracle, the trust is irreversibly gone. Now, scrolling up, okay, that's the good, right? UST, okay, they're going to bail it out. Well, scrolling up, he says, remove FTX Alameda from the list of potential bailout entities. And that was from a tweet from SBF, where SBF actually says, just to the outside view, skeptics predicted during a large market move, a stablecoin blew out, just not the stablecoin they predicted, which was predictable if you knew the details. Now, you can see there was this interview that this guy Joe Weisenthal actually had with SBF a couple weeks ago. And if you look on Joe's tweet, in the question he basically asked, he said, what's your take on the rise of either algorithmic or partially algorithmic, partially backed stable coins? And he basically focused on the phenomenon happening with the rise of Luna and UST, which Luna has this treasury reserve consisting of a lot of Bitcoin. Now, this is going to be something that's going to actually contribute to the cascade of UST that we saw today, basically having a lot of reserve in Bitcoin. But he says, basically what's SBF's thoughts on it. And SBF says, I think they're really cool. He says they can serve some useful purposes, but any stable coin that's backed by volatile assets is during a big market move, you know how this plays out. So basically what he's saying is if there's a big, say, drop in Bitcoin or whatever volatile asset that is being used to back that stable coin, if that volatile asset decreases in price by a lot, then there's basically a big chance that the stablecoin will depeg. So that's what happened with Bitcoin. It fell a lot, and then hence UST depegged by a large amount. We'll talk about some other factors as well in addition to that. But if you paid attention, then you would know that eventually, this would come to pass for UST, and possibly could have taken a good short opportunity on that. Now, there's another tweet here by Niraj. He says, help me understand this. No one really used UST for anything yet, but this whole incident might still be dragging the market down because they are selling the other crypto assets in their treasury to recover the peg. Now, what this means is, you remember I was talking about how Luna has a lot of BTC, right, backing their UST stablecoin. Now, this here was posted about 12 hours ago. It says Luna just emptied their BTC reserve wallet at $1.4 billion. Bitcoin's down at 31,000. Terra's down 32%. Terra UST is down at 95 cents. And again, that was earlier today. That was before this huge drop that happened. So basically what happened here? Well, what happened here was, again, they're having to sell that BTC to try to recover the peg of UST, but in turn, selling that BTC caused a lot of other coins and a lot of other people to panic, selling their coins, selling their Luna, which in turn put pressure on UST, and it was just a vicious cycle, okay? Now, when this happened, a lot of exchanges started halting, basically. So the circuit breakers, Hitaka actually posted, if you scroll down here, he posted about circuit breakers, and one of the things he He says, did my setup glitch or did they just pull the circuit breaker for a few seconds on UST, USDT? So basically, UST had their deposits and withdrawals temporarily basically stopped, and there's exchanges such as Gemini and a couple others that were actually halting trading completely because what happened with this whole fiasco with UST. And then there's actually a thread on this that was posted earlier today, about 7 hours ago, by this guy called John Wu. And he says, an $18 billion stablecoin is losing its dollar peg with all the magical chaos of algorithmic stables with a dash of Bitcoin's systemic risk drama. Here's everything you need to know, the UST Depeg thread. So again, it's a lot of things. It talks about what UST is. It talks about the backing with Bitcoin. And it basically talks about, 1 UST, you can always exchange it for $1 worth of Luna, but how that's not always best if a lot of people if Luna becomes a high price, then people try to dump Luna and exchange it for UST, etc. He posted a lot of the basically faults with the premise here, and there were basically some ideas of who caused this drop, right? Was it a single entity? And I believe we'll find out over the next couple of days. But he did post a tweet right here. This was a guy on May 7th, Catano Manfredi. He said, today's attack on Terra Luna UST was deliberate and coordinated. Massive 285 million UST dump on Curve and Binance by a single player, followed by massive shorts on Luna and hundreds of Twitter posts. Pure staging. The project is bothering someone on the right path. Now, again, this is all speculation, but there does seem to be some sort of coordinated FUD. Some people are saying it's Justin Sun, the Tron founder, because they're coming out with their stablecoin. Again, there's all kinds of theories about who is trying to have this coordinated attack. Again, it could just be a fault in the Luna UST basically algorithm and having BTC as its reserve. And then again, if there's with a whole macroeconomic shift going on in the market, the downsides, just a lot of stuff in the world causing more downward pressure, that in turn causing the Luna price to drop. UST, they got to sell BTC. Again, it's a vicious cycle where everything drops. So that could be the sole reason, or it could be extra players in addition to that. But also, CoinMarketCap did post some stuff on here. Basically, they posted everything I was saying here. But what I will post in the description is I will post these tweets, basically, especially this thread I'm going to post here. So I'll go back. So yeah, this thread here by John Wu, I'm going to post this, and so y'all can actually read this thread a little bit. But again, it doesn't really narrow it down to a single entity. It's basically just saying combination of all the macro effects with possibly some coordinated FUD is basically what causes depegging, right? So right now, looking at Luna, you can see that did have that major support near that 2450 level. And this, I believe, is going to hold personally. I am long on Luna from about $26 and definitely think we can see a retest of his $38. But again, a lot of people are scared right now. There's a lot of capitulation in the market. You can see UST is already regaining its peg near 90 cents, which is amazing to see. This was a great opportunity for UST to actually regain its peg, and for who would have thought that stablecoins would be one of the biggest gainers as far as actually a big percentage, not just 0.01%. So that's amazing to see. But yeah, just always be careful with this, right? So stablecoins that are just being introduced, or some that don't have the best algorithms, basically best backing, or they're backed by volatile assets, is always something to be wary of, okay? So always do your research with that. The tried and true ones, USDC and even USDT, Tether's had some controversy in the past, but just always be careful with that stuff. But yeah, it's been crazy today. Again, hopefully, I know there's a lot of stuff in this video, but hopefully this helped to explain some of the things that have been going on and exactly, why the vicious cycle happened of the depegging of UST and also the drop of Luna and basically just the drop of Bitcoin in general, okay? Because again, if you're going to buy billions of dollars worth of Bitcoin to back your stable coin, but then you end up having to sell the Bitcoin to hopefully regain peg on the UST, then that's again another vicious cycle of basically everything dropping, right? So that's just something to keep in mind here. But yeah, hopefully this video helped y'all out. If it did, please give it a like. Please comment if you have any questions, and please join my Discord if you haven't. It's free to join in the description and pinned in the comments as well. Till next time, thanks for watching.